Can you hear the sound of the drums after those two epic games?
The only way this Game 3 is going to end is by a base race. You know it.
I'm telling you one thing right now. The LPL doesn't disappoint. It does not disappoint whatsoever. And there is one thing I know about the LPL. That chaos goes the full length of the series, Clement.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely waiting for this. This is a must-win game for BLG. Playoff hopes on the line. They absolutely need to make a stand right here.
So, BLG, TOP. What is the difference between them? Well, at the moment, I'm saying BLG, the mid laners. I'm saying top lane there. Moyu looks like, is he outperforming ADD? In that game, he definitely did. Is it junglers? I don't know. I've got many questions for you. Let's just start, though, with MVP, because Kuro gets MVP of that game. That Morgana mid pick was massive.
Yeah, the number one thing he did was that he kept check of Knight. I think the final play where he hunted Knight down and made sure they had a very clear path towards the Baron was a crucial play. And throughout this entire series, even though that Kuro has presented himself to be countered pick, he has not actually let those deficits sneak into his jungle whatsoever. Like, I felt like Metoer had a very smooth transition to his games. He's never been that far behind compared to Xiong. So the strength of TOP has never shined in this series. We typically see the 1-2 punch between Xiong and Knight, them two playing off each other as one of the strongest jungle mid duos in the LPL, and they've been completely neutralized.
I'll also have to say that for 369 and XX, there was a lot to boast about there as well. With Moyu, you saw in that game how the Ryze shut down the Gankplank, but of course, Gankplank is never really out. Give him enough time, always rises to the occasion in the game. Yeah, see what I did there. But game 2 was Moyu and XX, right? That was what the game was about. Jinjiao has had footing in each and every game here, and this is my concern for TOP, is that Jinjiao is just so much of a liability that they haven't been able to shut down.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a liability necessary, but a thorn in their side for sure. And for me, Jinjiao has been one of the most steady performers on this BLG roster. The only starter that has remained from 2018. And look how polite he is. He actually,
doesn't want to
shields his. Yeah, he's more polite than I am. Sometimes I even burp into the microphone, but he definitely knows his manners much better. And he's actually been I think he's the backbone of BLG. They really do play around his style. And the late game team fights should be what they're looking at. I think BLG has perfected the art of staying even in the early game.
If BLG can win this game, playoff dream is still alive. It comes down to this, game number 3. Let's get right into it because different bans are ready to cement this. TOP, blue side, BLG, red. And Rek'Sai going to be the ban on blue side. Very curious to see TOP hovering and prioritizing something else.
Yeah, I think TOP is going to go for the Zoe once more. I wonder if BLG want to deal with it or if they're actually just fine with the selection. This is a TOP side select.
Yep, clever.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, Coach Tim is obviously thinking about it. He's like, do I take away the Zoe?
I lost you for a second.
Yeah.
I'd also be remiss the fact to say that Jarvin wouldn't be first pick here. Vladimir was a ban away for BLG to finish things off, so Jarvin, first priority for XX. And that also takes it away from Metoer.
I would say that Jarvin means very different things when it's selected for TOP than it does for BLG. I think their Jarvin is much more about the engaged potential. I think that's something they lacked the last time around, and you can see ADD shaking his head as well, nodding his head. Yes, he definitely agrees with me. I think TOP are going to stick to the same game plan. What they typically do is they play a 1-3-1, and then they have very strong engages on their jungle and in one of their lanes to make sure that they can take those laning leads and crush the enemy team with it.
Potentially, of course, BLG are changing up their game plan, though. That's to be noted. Kuro on the Assassin in LeBlanc for game number 3. What runs into it, however, because we have seen Knight on this Ryze before, even though Moyu picked it up in game number 2, will be locked in for TOP. Still a big flex here to play on.
Yeah, there's nothing that really contests LeBlanc very well. You could take about the Syndra, or you could go on a late game path and select the Corki instead. But, I think LeBlanc always has some sort of say in the game. She's very hard to catch. She can even take the cleanse if need be. So I like this play from Kuro, and this is actually his 3rd most picked champion. It's a relatively safe champion, even if you don't go super aggressive with it.
One of his best for sure, aside from the Lissandra and the Zoe for BLG's mid laner. ADD, third game's the charm. That's right.
You can see Kuro smiling there. It's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Please.
Yeah.
Please? Coach
Sims the body. He's saying it's okay. ADD, it's okay. And to be fair, his Gankplank has always made a resurgence. Fell behind early or not. So ADD picking up this champion again. I'm still happy if I'm BLG.
Yeah, I wonder what jungle they want to go into it, because I don't think we've seen Metoer really play the Kindred. So he actually needs a strong jungle matchup to keep the Gankplank in place.
Yep.
Or what happened in Game 2 is going to happen again this time around as well. So I think the jungle pick is of tremendous importance, and it does look like BLG are once again shifting their game plan towards a more snowball-y type of composition. I feel like their soul lanes this time around have a lot more impact in the early game, and for TOP, they're still looking at their carries to try and deal with BLG.
I would assume that for TOP that you're going to see a lot around that bottom lane stealing away from Jinjiao still, because we don't have 80 carries picked up. You got a lot of bans just rising to the occasion. Kai'Sa, Ezreal, TOP. Be surprised we don't see the Kalista or maybe the Galio banned away, but of course you already have the Tahm Kench, so why would you? Ashe going to be the final ban.
It does look like both teams are going to have a clash of AD carries at this point. Very good team fight comps coming out from both sides. BLG do have the protection and the zoning protection from Gankplank.
Oh, please.
So they will go for the hyper carry. It was the Jinx that carried their game 2.
We haven't seen Kog'Maw in this series yet, however. What pairs into the hyper carry? What would you like to take into Kog'Maw, Clement?
I would like to take the Jinx. Very high win rate against the champion. Has much better trading patterns. You outrange the Kog'Maw most of the time, unless he uses his W, and your Flame Choppers actually prevent him from taking off too. So I feel like TOP actually have a very strong composition. This time they're taking a page out of BLG's book and saying, you know what, we can play your style too.
I mean, it's going to be the Ryze in the top lane as we first thought. So double AP in the solo lanes and a Jinx hyper carry. I like this from TOP. Composition that screams their unique playstyle here in the LPL. But for BLG, they still need that jungler. And is it just going to be what's left and available against the Kog'Maw, with the Kog'Maw rather?
I love this, honestly.
I think this is smart. Metoer is Zac. Here we go.
There's so much disruption that can be dealt by the Zac, and you can also have a chance to hijack people as they're funneling into a Realm Warp. Just imagine that. Before the Realm Warp finishes the channel, you just bring everyone out of it.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Metoer is, I was going to say, his width. His size is the exact size of a Realm Warp as well, by the way. I don't know if that's a coinky-dink or...
I thought you were going to talk about the size of his champion pool.
No, well, Metoer does have a large champion pool as well. Well spotted. The Rek'Sai band away, you can see there's so many junglers that in the past have been aimed at him, but it's good to see that's still expanding for Metoer. Going to be a key factor here in this game number 3. You know what Zac's about. You know that level 4, level 5 is crucial. Getting levels on the Elastic Slingshot for the range.
I do have to say I favor BLG's composition a little bit more. I think they have the better disengage and the potentially a better engage as well, with the Zac being in the composition. Zac was a very smart pick. It fits them with the frontline protection, with the frontline tank, and also with the engage potential as well. So it solves a lot of problems that comp had. And for TOP side, this is not a comp that we typically see them run. We call them a trident team because any one of their lanes can pop off, but they don't typically draft for a single strategy. They're a bit of a toolbox type of composition where one lane can carry the game, another lane can carry the game. This is a much more focused attempt from their side, and they're actually going to put Knight on, I believe, his first Morgana game of the split.
I believe so too. Morgana mid hasn't been as popular as of late until that 9.5. This, for me, for TOP, is showing they want to bring the tempo to a style of BLG. They want to show their adaptation here in this series, and the mini meta that we've already seen has brought Moyu into a devastating lane against ADD. This is where they need to shine, putting ADD behind once again. But what about Jinjiao in this series? The AD carry from BLG has been huge. The mid lane has been huge. And that's what they need. Individuality here to shine through, take game 3, and keep their spring playoff dream alive. Clement, Shu. So many runes I want to talk about. Let's start with Knight, who has Glacial Augment on Morgana mid.
Ooh, this is a spicy one. It does so well in the team fights. You can easily walk people down. There's a saying that you want to leash the dog when you do that.
Yeah.
It's how they describe the play happening in Chinese.
What else are you looking at there, Clement? I'm looking at Klepto LeBlanc mid.
I'm looking at Hell of Blades Kog'Maw.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting one. Very good on short trades. You can, if you land the Q, you might as well just go in with the W as well. The living artillery.
Remember we talked about how this lane was going to be in favor of LokeN with the Jinx and having the range advantage. With lethal tempo makes it a lot easier, but Jinjiao getting those first 3 trades, walking out, does also favor how Kog'Maw in the past has had a rough laning phase. Look at this, there we go. Bit of Hail of Blaze action for you straight away.
Yeah, that's the 3-hit trade we were talking about. Once Cat was not in position, goes straight in, gets the 3 auto attacks, and then just backs off. We could see the Colonel did favor BLG as well, but I think that's mainly because of the 75% win rate Zach.
Colonel is still bringing out just the stats. Having a look, speaking of, at the Kleptomancy. This is what I said, Clever. You didn't listen to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was keeping my eyes elsewhere.
There's too much to look at this game, to be fair. You know, looking at the Hail of Blades Kog'Maw. Of course, the Klepto LeBlanc already being utilized here by Kuro. Picks himself up a juicy potion. Kuro's gone for the minion dematerializer as well. Remember, 9.5, so we still have 6 on the minion.
Yeah, this really harkens back to the days when you could just bring any runes you wanted. Like, Froggen used to take a lot of auto attack damage on his marks just to win out the matchups like that. You know, 80 Cryo Phoenix, if you like that. And I think it's a relatively same idea for Kuro's side. He just wants to poke it out. He's not looking to kill Knight whatsoever. And he's doing a good job of running him out of mana.
Well, we saw this lane before as well. It was the reverse. In game number 2. So other side of the matchup as we take a look at the Glacial Augment that has been picked up by Morgana with Domination Secondary. Okie dokie.
Ooh, that's the Ingenious Hunter. So I wonder what actives that Morgana's going to try to use. Of course, the Zhonya's is one that's quite obvious.
We saw the Proto Belt in game number 2, Clip.
Yeah, we did. We did actually see the Proto Belt. Or it could be something like the Twin Shadows that a lot of AP mid laners have been going for. You know, we've seen Kennons go for it. We've seen Vel'Koz's go for it.
Ari, as Shie showed us, that Preacher really liked, and I keep shutting it down. I thought it was absolutely garbage.
Oh damn!
I know.
Damn.
I know.
Damn. That's the toughest opinion I've ever.
It's not that's rough for me. But to be fair, didn't perform too well. Hopefully the Morgana does a bit more. Yeah, they did lose the game. LokeN, that's very close positioning there. The stretching strike almost connects.
Yeah, that was well played by LokeN. He definitely had a sixth sense of where Zach was on that play.
Yeah. You can see the focus to the bottom side for Meteor there on the Zach. Level 3 hit now. Of course, only level 1 slingshot as Meteor's going to be spotted out by the control ward here. Knight probably going to threaten him as well. Kuro just coming up to safeguard his jungle. But as I was saying before, the bottom lane being focused because of the Infernal Dragon to start off. We're getting the hot ones here to bring us into game 3.
And Xiong is looking to impact the bottom lane sooner rather than later. The wave is pushing in, so BLG are going to be very close to that tower. Cat's going in already.
Run, Kog'Maw, run! Jinjiao, the flash is burnt by a mini just to stay away from the Winter's Bite. They spot out the Jarvin, they know he's here now, and BLG have to pay respect to this bottom lane wave.
You gotta love that timing coming in from the gank on Xiong as the wave is pushing in.
Yeah.
Not a lot of damage taken, and a pretty efficient gank overall.
See the way things are reset, though, by LokeN as he goes into rocket form, just clears out the majority of it, so it's not going to be too devastating, but they still don't know where this jungler is. Hey, guess what? ADD, this is actually not good. Hang on. Moyu's in the middle of a wave. He has to time things out. Moyu's getting hit hard. ADD, orange is up, flashes, good flash. Moyu, can you survive? Still needs to clear out the minion wave, but one auto, he finds it. Moyu at full health, takes the disregard. Zach comes in, elastic slingshot, the flash away. What can he stretching strike to? But Moyu's still tanky enough. Aftershock will help Meteor get out, and That is the Ryze again, snowballing in the matchup.
That was such a sick outplay. Now, ADD really had a bit too much faith in his own minions, but the shielding from Moyu actually negated the majority of that. And that finishing blow was so smooth. He killed him with the Rune Prison just to make sure the minions could not get in the way.
It's the way things have been going, locking him up in this top lane, throwing away the key. ADD is behind 10 CS again. First blood to the Ryze. This time it's a lot earlier in the matchup. We'll see how far this falls out of favor for BLG, because they, again, have to worry about the potential of top lane being their darkest weakness.
Yeah, and the Squid really gets revenge for the Kraken in the top lane. You know, he remembers all the lore that happens in Blygewater.
Yeah. The Kraken. The Kraken.
Oh, the Kraken?
The Kraken, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know, is it America? Do you say Kraken in America?
I'm not sure. You know, I haven't been in the States for a while now.
I watched Pirates of the Caribbean. I heard them call it the Kraken. Actually, I don't think they
like
use the Kraken.
The Kraken sounds Kraken. I like the Kraken.
Yeah, what's Kraken?
Yeah. Let's go with the Kraken.
Old Australia, how you going? Little Dragon's going to be taken here, though, Clement. I'll bring us back to reality because BLG, while this has all been going on, TOP are just taking full control. Top side first, bottom side next. The Infernal. It's going to be followed up there. It looks like the Cloud, if my eyes do not deceive me. Or maybe it's another Infernal. I think my eyes did deceive me. So double Infernal to kick things off.
I'll be honest, Raz pays more attention to what the next Drake is than our play-by-plays. He's always there. Yeah, it's like, this is the guessing game.
He likes to,
You're off the desk.
roll the dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of his favorite activities, but it does look like double Infernal, and most of this actually just came off from the top lane. Mori getting that solo kill, drawing Meteor to the spot. Very well played on his own, and TOP are showing up that, like their name, they have a ton of talent.
Yeah. Like their name, they're sitting towards that top side.
Yeah.
Meteor's falling very far behind in this matchup. He's 20 CS behind of XX. So Meteor right now is a level to be gained. And it means that the bottom lane is suffering. XX is now here for the blue buff invade. Meteor, will he hit 6 off of these wolves? No, so he doesn't have the kidnap.
Yeah, Knight's not here. Meteor is going to have to try and go for a steal.
Oh, he gets it. Yeah, out of here. He now hits level 6 as well. That was perfect for BLG. That was crucial to the bottom.
It was very well done, and you can see the reaction from Xiong. That's a grimace if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it is. Puts the CS lead back to a minimal amount. XX has to go back to his own jungle, his own blue buff, which will have to be given over to Knight. It does mean, however, that Meteor wasn't able to transfer the blue buff over to Kuro. So, again, we see that the response of these invades from TOP is affecting the mid lane matchup. Different sides of the story this time in Game 3, however. So, we'll see if with the LeBlanc it matters too much. Knight going to pick up his gift, wrapped tightly by XX.
Really good ward, spotting out when Knight actually leaves the lane. So I want to see if BLG can make a play out of this. We see their members roaming towards bot, but is instantly spotted. So both sides doing a very good job at controlling where the mid lane goes.
Yep. Trying to roam around early on. Kuro this time in a very different matchup. We didn't see too much from Knight, staying in his lane for as long as possible as ADD. He's taking the hard shove from Moyu. This time only 10 CS is the lead, as XX is up here as well, but not going to be spotted out by a ward. XX either goes for the lane gate, goes for the tri-brush. Meteor's nearby.
Neither of these jungles see each other. Oh,
I was going to say, spotted. Is this smart pathing or is it too late? The cannon barrage is down. ADD's dunked down. Moyu under turret is dead. 1-for-1 trade. XX is going to re-engage as well. 1 for 2. ADD just gets given a gift himself.
Yeah, so worth right there. And I did believe they saw Meteor coming in, but at that point, it was actually a better idea to just die all to ADD rather than give over the assist gold. So they did prevent a little bit more gold from taking away, but definitely a favorable trade for BLG.
There's a Trinity Force almost on ADD. We'll watch again exactly what happened here.
Yeah, Cannon Barrage goes down. Both of them trade sides. And this is unfortunate, but oh, the minions are taken away.
That was perfect positioning from the Cannon Barrage of ADD, just to be quite frank.
Yeah.
He's 10 CS behind in the matchup. Give a little few,
he's
few
fine.
more.
He's definitely fine.
Yeah, he's definitely, well, he is now. He's got the Phage, he's got the Sheen. Ryze just picked up the Archangel Staff in that top lane, so going to be feeling okay. But XX now going to try and revisit a lane which is the bottom lane.
Now, this is a bit of just a shove to allow his bot lane to go back, I believe, because he doesn't have the Cataclysm. There's no way he's actually trying to get a kill here.
You can see that XX pays his attention this close to the Infernal Dragon #2 spawning, so it's still smarter pathing here out of our TOP jungler. 1 minute left remaining, Meteor's down here as well, starting to put the priority on, and BLG starting to get their infamous vision line in the river.
I just wanted to throw a bit of context into the top lane matchup. Now, usually we don't see the Gankplanks falling that far behind in lane a lot of times. Like, this is definitely a skill matchup.
Yep.
But Moyu's most played champion in 2018 was actually the Gankplank. By about double.
He knows the matchup, yeah.
Yeah, you could see him actually outplaying the barrels a lot of times, even compared to ADD. Though this is definitely not an outplay.
Definitely not what you want. Hang on, Rune Prison. ADD is going to chase this up as well. Where's the Cannon Barrage? It's not available, nor is the Flash. Orange up for good measure while we look at the bottom lane. And Cat is going to be kidnapped. Let's bounce. Down we go as Jinjiao wants to bork on him a little. That's first kill for Kog'Maw. Blade of the Ruined King and support down. Means that we get a Dragon, and it's an Infernal.
Yep, Shongshong's not in the right position. Mori just took 2 tower shots in the top lane, so he's not looking to join anything soon either.
Nope, he does have teleport, has Realm Warp available, but only level 1 on the ultimate, so let's just go closer to home. Rift Herald has been warded, so BLG know this Kuro can start hitting down on tonight. It's not the Protobelt this game, it's the hose. Hello. Knight has gone for a different itemization. Will we have time to talk about it? Probably not. Moyu onto ADD. Wait for it. Flash. Oh, does he find it? Under turret. Moyu Cannon Barrage is down. ADD again. Moyu's all the way out. He used Flash before, as you mentioned. XX is going to have to come to the top side of the map to quell the beast that is ADD.
Yeah, that was pretty damn close. I believe he had a flex on him at that point. The flux on him at that point, so that would have been an extra damage.
Right. Oh, Flash from Kuro. It just doesn't end.
That was a smart play from Knight. He almost he predicted the distortion, and that did force a flash out from Kuro.
At least for Moyu, able to use the teleport back into this top lane. Rift Herald picks up the turret. Gold still over to the Ryze, but ADD, this lane is more competitive than ever. 30 CSC advantage for Moyu. ADD is walking to, where are you? He's to the top side at the moment. Just trying to neglect XX and get the chain barrel.
Yeah.
Might even want to get more. ADD just walks up to Moyu. Meteor's here too. Rifteld not going to find a second charge on that top lane turret, but 13 minutes in the game. TOP have a 2k gold lead still, but I'm not holding anything close to the chest at this point.
And just taking a look at the gold across the map, we have a sizable lead on the top lane of 1k. In the in the mid lane, Knight has also been doing quite well for himself, constantly pushing out the lane. And it looks like TOP, true to their name, like we call them a trident team that consistently wins all 3 lanes at once. They are, again, ahead in every location.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's enough to discount BLG, nor is it ever. Top lane, as you mentioned just before, is the lead again, but for ADD, it's not as devastating as it was in the second game, which I have to keep bringing up. Trinity Force almost completed here for the Gankplank. Now in an elongated lane won't be as favorable, but she'll be able to clear out this wave, get very close to picking it up. Sitting on quite a bit of gold, if I'm correct. And we'll see.
That's an interesting map if I've ever seen one. Typically, we do see the jungle actually come walking out and trying to hold the midway.
Yep.
But this time around, Knight must have communicated with his top laner, or might not have, saying that, you know what, I'm playing Morgana. You can take that.
It's all right. I'll still clear out the wave. No cooldown on W anymore as well, and that is just a scorch of voices if I've ever heard them. Morgana makes a lot more noise now, I've noticed.
A lot of champions are much noisier than before. I think Pyke was the worst one.
Oh, the W.
Yeah, that really took me to the the early days of StarCraft 2 when the overlords were like vomiting all over the map.
Yeah, right.
That's what it sounded like.
Sorry, I have not been to StarCraft. I've been like a Warcraft 3 kind of man.
Man, if you ever, that's where a lot of us started. Just watching that, League of Legends in Korea and all that stuff.
True. I feel very young.
Yes,
although I'm not.
Young. I can't believe the first. I think you actually casted a different title. But let's watch this fight.
Yeah, hang on, back to reality. Oh, gravity. Meteor's out immediately. Slingshot. This time, There's going to be a different type of dragon, so it doesn't mean Meteor's going to be stuck focusing on the bottom lane, although he does want this Kog'Maw to be in a position. Look at where Meteor is. Slingshot in again. Moyu has to black shield himself, but that means Knight gets flabbergasted in. Kuro comes in with a double distortion. Meteor might be in trouble. Let's bounce out.
Oh.
He goes into cell division, but the thing is, Knight can defend this. In fact, Moyu, damage straight is here from Kuro. He'll reset his way back in. Meteor survived due to the passive, but now mid lane turret is under siege.
Yeah, it was very close from both sides, and we see the early rotation coming from TOP. They do have the inside track. Meteor could still find his way into this fight, though.
No passive to keep him safe. The Cannon Barrage comes down to clear out the way, but they get the turret anyway. Cat at the forefront to take on Kuro. He'll help keep his jungler safe. BLG, they still find themselves behind here. The same amount of gold at 16 minutes.
And once again, we see Moyu being the difference maker here, able to roam down early and have Knight behind him to support. That was a close fight that could have gone either way if both sides landed a few more skill shots, but TOP do walk away with the advantage.
It's a time when you can say that for TOP, they're looking great, they're looking in control. But the longer this game goes on, again, we still look at the Kog'Maw, the Gankplank. We know what the flank potential is from LeBlanc. This time, however, you've still got a lot of securities with TOP, so it's funny that it comes down to this, a game that is not decided in the early game, is not decided by the early rotations from TOP, nor is it decided by how BLG are playing out the lanes. We still have to wait and see how it develops. Maybe around the Cloud Drake we'll see a fight, but very undoubtedly is XX is moving down there first.
I will say that the blue ramp is going to be the most crucial part of the map.
Yep.
All the solo laners can just walk through that small ramp and collapse onto BLG, so there's a lot of control wards just to hold that position.
Jinjiao, so close. Playing it very riskily in this bottom lane. TOP group up as 4. You can see everyone from BLG coming down here as well. ADD has teleport. Moyu does not, but he has the realm
There is no
wall.
cannon barrage, though, so this is has to be big for Meteor.
Elastic slingshot. Meteor comes in with the stretching strike, locked down, but the Glacial Fisher flashes away from the Flag and Dragon. Let's bounce you prematurely as the Super Mega Death Rocket forces them out. Not good from BLG. LokeN has gotten excited. Jinjiao doesn't get locked down, but the Rockets start to fly. Realm wall from Moyu, still not taking it up. They'll find themselves. Kuro, but the Cataclysm flashed away by the distortion. He does live. There is no rocket to snipe him out in the backside, but BLG, they lose so many health bars in that fight.
50 HP, but Kuro manages to walk away with his own life, and that was the play that we were talking about. All the members on the map converging towards the bot side. Even though BLG do walk away with their lives, he can't stop the snowball from happening on TOP.
That was a 4 versus 5 in the end as Moyu joined in. ADD does not want to be anywhere near that fight with only the Trinity Force. You can see sits by his lonesome, starts forcing Moyu out. And committing all that way means that the Gankplank gets himself back on board while losing the Cloud Drake over to TOP.
It's very rare that we see a map this wide open for TOP. They've actually taken all 3 of the outer towers. BLG has taken 0. So TOP, they can basically play the map however they see fit. There's no objectives that they need to attend to. There's only the plays that they want to make.
Still focusing around the Gankplank. The play that's coming up next, I would assume, is still definitely around that Baron, although this game may be more slow paced. Not going to see that early Baron rush we've seen in games before. Yeah, very dangerous against Knight. Has the hose to lock a lot of people down in a wide area. And it's bottom lane of BLG still trying to open up that turret, which they've been unsuccessful doing so far.
We do have to point out the difference in keystones between the 2 AD carries. For LokeN, he has lethal tempo, much better team fighting room compared to what Jinjiao has. So when it does come to those late game team fights, I actually do give the edge for the damage dealing potential over to LokeN's side. He is on that crit AD carry, while Jinjiao is going for the Guinsoo's Rage Blade second and typically Wits End third.
Ooh. Actually going to see it nice and early. Lethal tempo, cell division not available. Caught on out. BLG has to find the flank onto LokeN. Going golden XX. Locked inside the Cataclysm. Mini flashes away. Still takes the damage from LokeN. Jinx free hitting. Flashing forward. LokeN is having the time of his life. Zap on zap. Ooh. And LokeN with the barrel chain. ADD.
The living artillery
big threat.
Doesn't find him, but that was such a good move by LokeN. He actually prevented the distortion damage on Kuro as he was coming in. You're not unstoppable, so if you're stopped midair, no damage being dealt by the LeBlanc on the initial engage. That was very, very close.
Yeah, you can see that TOP getting the pick is great, but if they go for the full 5-on-5, there's still so much risk going into Jinjiao and the Kog'Maw. Flash burn in that engage, so not as much safety as you'd expect, but this started with Metoer walking blind.
Yeah, so Metoer definitely puts him in a large deficit. You can see as they go in, there was a Flame Chompers being put onto Kuro, so it doesn't get the full distortion damage. He goes in again, and LokeN says, you know what, that's it, buddy. You're going down. Flashes over the wall to take him, and Knight also finishes up on the kill. You can see the Corrupting Potion burning down and Living Artillery going after Jinx's shoes, but they don't manage to touch her.
Got two big focal points there for BLG. Kog'Maw, Gankplank. And Kuro at the moment facilitating these engages, still trying to find his assassination, but been unsuccessful so far. While TOP, Knight has his second item. He has the Mystic Shadow there with the Glacial Augment, so there is so much chain CC to land from TOP. One pick could spell disaster for BLG as they're already 3k gold behind. And now, Baron up, mid lane turret needs to be held.
It's a great barrel coming in from ADD. Tax 2, and here comes the engage.
The engage is there, slingshot over the wall. Metoer wants to get the kidnap, finds it only onto one, but with GA available, how much time can he hold? Jinjiao is locked in the Cataclysm, eaten up by minions. Moyu comes in for the flank. Ryze pops the grey health. TOP from front to back, from side to side. As Metoer won't go in for another elastic slingshot. TOP still in the mid lane. They still want to break this wide open, and this time maybe they can.
The power of Jinx is still there. Metoer's going to try and go in once again.
ADD, there's so much lockdown, he cannot be too careful, but Kuro! The assassination that was needed. Metoer's coming in. There's the cannon barrage. The one, though, set up nicely as Metoer goes into cell division, but Kuro has done it twice fold. 2 kills, immediately BLG strike back.
The hero play from Kuro, finding the snipes on the edge of the team fights just to keep his team alive. That would have been a straight Baron and even a tower taken.
Oh, no. Kuro may have found XX, flag and drag over the wall. BLG just turned this from disadvantage to turret take. Kuro's coming in. Will not let XX back in peace, as even teleport has to be channeled there. It's LokeN coming back into the mid lane.
And he does hold off the offense from BLG. Not going to be able to go onto that Baron, but that was a huge momentum swing. The gold lead is basically cut to nothing. And let's watch this again. All eyes on Kuro as he actually finds the perfect amount of damage just for Moyu to tick down. This was a good stop by Cat. He did get Metoer in mid-air, but it wasn't enough. The Luden's proc actually takes down the Braum.
So many damage threats on the side of BLG. So many things to worry about. And while I was concerned about the lockdown potential from TOP, people like Kuro still a devastating menace in the face of people like LokeN. Mount Dragon going to spawn up now, and TOP know that BLG will look to contest this, waiting in a brush, clearing out vision, trying to bait them into the false sense of security.
Taking a look at all of the ultimates down here. Cannon Barrage is still not up, so TOP do have the small lead in terms of ultimates. Actually, Glacial Fissure isn't up either.
Yep.
So they're going to actually wait for that.
Cell division won't be up for Metoer as well. What's a big cooldown there on the passive. Binding not going to land from Knight into a choke. They are caught out, and Moyu is forced out. Enough for the Dragon, potentially, but Moyu still has the teleport.
Kuro is just doing so much work on the edges of these team fights. He's finding the perfect amount of damage, perfect picks, and forcing people away.
Here he comes.
It's a long path for him to take, though.
This is a full 5-on-5 ready to brew for playoffs. BLG have to play this perfectly.
If BLG do not take this series, there goes their playoff hopes. They absolutely need to win to stay in contention.
Oh, ADD starting to chain those barrels together nicely. Binding still going out from Knight as Kuro comes in over the wall looking for a pick. Dragon started up yet again, and BLG are not going down without a fight.
Very good barrel position from ADD. If he can find something on the back line.
They don't know he's there. Third barrel doesn't chain in time. But now for the Dragon, who picks up the mountain at 2k. The smite comes through, and it's Jarvin that picks it up for XX. He sacrifices life. Cannon Barrage is there. Into the Realm Warp, they're out. But you've left Moyu and Knight by themselves. Even they survive. That Realm Warp saved the day, with Mountain Dragon also going over to XX.
Yeah, so well played by multiple members on TOP. The Black Shield saving the HP on LokeN, allowing him to retreat away from the Ethereal Chains, and then a great helicopter escape strategy coming in from Moyu.
Do not doubt the team fight potential of BLG. We almost saw it come into full effect there in front of the Dragon, but the disengage from Moyu. You pointed out there before, Clement, Zach wants to get into the middle of that Realm Warp and stop it from happening. He almost did. Disrupted in the middle of it. Ultimate available for Metoer as well. Moyu does not have the Realm Warp for a second try. And with Baron up, Infernal coming up next, the fights will not stop here.
The thing you have to remember about Zach engages is that he's not unstoppable while in the air on Elastic Slingshot. So you can stop him with the Glacial Fissure. You can lock him down with the Dark Binding. Metoer really has to pick his moments and come out of vision to make that play happen. Also, that was a really good play from TOP, judging with the missed barrel from ADD. Yep. That takes a long time to recharge a triple barrel, so it was a good idea to go in then and there to secure the objective.
It's getting a lot harder, though, to deal with ADD. There's 2 items on the Gankplank now and has a cooldown reduction to net himself quicker chains. Gankplank a big threat. We already talked about how many damage threats they really are, but in this next fight, expect ADD to look for that counteractive position to Moyu again. But BLG have to be careful. They're just going to lose a mid lane turret. Now, being careful about the Baron should be their ultimate concern.
Yeah, the key thing here for BLG is actually slowing down the members so that Jinjiao can follow up with damage.
Metoer isn't caught out over the wall. The Blast Cone saves his life. Kuro even takes half health as well. This is not good for BLG. TOP have so much Baron threat, and there's no vision in the pit.
Still holding on to the Cannon Barrage, so they're going to use that to detect their way. If TOP decide to start, they are a very fast Baron taken team with that Mountain and Infernal Drake.
Oh, they will spot it out before it's even begun. Metoer not caught out, just at the tip. That was close. TOP again, just around the side in front of this Baron pit. Moyu's joined the fight as well, and those Dark Bindings need to connect for Knight.
Yeah, Kuro's been playing this on the knife's edge this entire way, held onto his Banshee's Veil. And he's been finding good poke all over the team composition of TOP. So TOP, I like the idea of setting up plays with the Dark Binding here. That's a very long CC chain. They also have Room Prison. So it's a good idea to wait there and see if they can get a pick. But so far, BLG has managed to outplay. They're bringing Mini along for the Devourer, even if something lands. And I think they've been doing a tremendous job holding on to their own territory.
Working towards their own condition. BLG, stylistically, as a team, have always been that late team fighting team. That's why their games go the longest out of anyone in the LPL, apart from Suning, but that's not a story to be talked about. This, for BLG, a defining moment against a team that we expected to be first, to be second. Their fate in getting that second seed relies on this series win today as well. ADD playing very cautiously, almost level 16 on the Gankplank. And trying to deny that fact from TOP.
TOP are actually getting out-rotated at this point. There's no one defending the bot lane turret. Kuro looks to get something for free here.
Yep. Has TP as well to join back up the fight.
I don't see what TOP are trying to do. Oh, ADD out of position.
Yeah, maybe he's caught out once again. Cataclysm available. Slingshots there. They don't find ADD. The Gankplank living is everything as the Kidnap back again. BLG get LokeN half health. The ultimate comes through as well. And ADD picks up the first kill. BLG strike true and strike forward. The pick's all they need because TOP are so low that Baron is now next on the menu.
That was so close for the team fight. That was basically one spell flux spreading to all the members, and they would have all died. 5 blinking HP bars at the end, but the Kidnap trumps it all. Metoer actually wins out on that fight.
ADD surviving for this long, though, Clement.
Yeah, that was pretty tremendous. Just watching that fight again, XX does not get the Black Draft combo. The Room Prison goes down, but ADD already flashes out of it. Prompts the GA and the Zhonya's to go out and watch this damage go down. That's a double crit into a Mega Infernal Death Rocket. Doesn't actually get anyone.
Mini just frontlined all of that. He just stood in front of them and took all the damage.
That was close. Super Mega Death Rocket, excuse me.
That's very big ultimate there from LokeN. 3 items on the Jinx, building up towards the 4th. Jinjiao in a very similar position, so the Kog'Maw free-hitting in the fight is just going to be devastating.
Infernal for Baron.
Another Infernal, but BLG haven't started it. They're clearing out vision. They don't know what's going on. Infernal going to be taken here, and not pulling the trigger means that that's absolutely free.
The best roll of the die that TOP could have hoped for. Just look at Jinx items. She's doing massive amounts of damage at this point. BLG don't really have a front line. No real armor items being brought up on Metoer as well, either. So at this point, it feels like BLG's way of starting the team fights is actually going to have to rely on either a great engage coming in from the Zac or just poking LokeN out piece by piece. He doesn't really have the Ocean Drake or the healing.
He doesn't.
So I like what Kuro is trying to do. He's trying to get a bit of damage on LokeN, force him out of the situation. But he's very well protected by Braum.
Remember, Metoer, though, has the Warmog, so he can go in, go out. There's no real threat there unless he finds himself in the middle of 5 without his team's backup. With Baron still on the menu, there's about 10 times I've already announced that this Baron was next. But TFP not pulling the trigger just yet. Looking for mid lane advantage, still trying to get the shove, get a pick onto someone from BLG, and you can see that BLG not falling out of place. There's so much on the line, but this is the trigger I was waiting for.
Cannon barrage on 5, and Zach going in as well.
It was going down so quick with one Mountain Drake. Zach goes over the wall into the pixel brush. Cannon barrage stops it. That was going down very swiftly. TOP are just forced off.
Yeah, but BLG are going to take full control of this side of the map. They're going to have the vision around Baron, and they might even start taking down this tower as well.
Oh, LokeN out of position. Woo. So lucky that Kuro missed the combination. That was a dead LokeN. That was a free Baron. My God.
I would really like to see some sustain on him at this point.
Oh, Clem doesn't bloody matter about sustain.
Yeah,
he
of
was
course
dead.
He does. He picked up a blade of. He picked up a bloodthirster.
He's got a bloodthirster, but
he agrees with me. He agrees with me.
If Kuro got onto him, that's how devastating the pick could be. Off for the BLG mid laner. Rabadon's death cap is coming up as well. Get ready, because this fight just keeps edging on insanity. Just waiting for that Baron to be taken. Meteor's still here. They do not trust this pit whatsoever.
I'm so impressed by how BLG has been dancing around this. They've never allowed TOB to get engaged on them. They've pulled them out of their comfort zone multiple times, forced them away from the pit. And just the tenacity of Kuro to just go in on those pokes. He could be caught out when he's going in for that distortion.
Ooh, trying to pick out Cat first, though. Remember, Mountain Dragon's going down so fast. Need to get in the pit. Meteor setting himself up. Elastic Slingshot 3k. They disengage. They lock him down with the Glacial Fissure. They continue.
Flash, though.
Meteor's in there.
Oh, he gets it.
Steals it. Wants to steal away. One member as well. XX into the middle. As in comes Kuro for the flank. It all goes right for BLG. Realm Warp away. Moyu doesn't want anything to do with it. The TP even saves Meteor, and he can't get out of there. Anything into the front line. Kuro still on the flank. Jinjiao free hitting. Kog'Maw's a good boy. As we come down from the heavens, it's the ultimate from Mini. Slingshot into the fray again. The flash. The elastic slingshot. No. We only find the one, but it's good enough. And Meteor survives. Kuro comes into the backline. TOP lose the Baron. Lose the fight. BLG on the edge of helping their journey to playoffs.
And BLG with just so much patience around this pit. This is the third time the TOP have started the Baron. They get knocked up once, but it doesn't matter. I'm returning the favor back from game 1, says Meteor. As he goes in, he gets all of the people caught up. And watch ADD here with the true bro play. He has his teleport up, backs off, tries to save his jungler from going down. That was so well played. He gets put in the front line, but he's like, you know what? I can get out of this. No problem. Great heads-up play. Great flank from the entire team on BLG, and their tenacity finally wins over. I felt like TOP had the 5v5 edge for such a long time in this game. They had the first 3 towers in the game. They had the map control throughout the entire game. But right now, BLG are the ones sitting on top with the Baron and the gold lead.
They control their hopes. They control their potential playoff dreams. 3K. 34 minutes in the game, they only have an Infernal, but that's all they need at this point. For TOP, they border on the edge of an insane team fight themselves. LokeN has that Bloodthirster, as you mentioned before, but Meteor wants to start it off. They don't see them around the corner. The blindsided here from BLG. Remember, Meteor does not have stealth division available. Rocket right into the middle of Mini, but can XX follow up? Winter's Bite flashes away. Realm Warp's coming in. Is anyone in it? Well, here he comes. Moyu into the front. They've got Jinjiao. That's not good. As BLG have lost one member. Now for Cat, they need to make sure they get LokeN, but the Jinx survives. BLG have found it. ADD face first. That's how a pirate should be. As Moyu still hitting away at Meteor. Blocked away by ADD. This is close. Moyu and XX are still alive, but what's going to happen here? Because BLG are just running down mid.
They do have to run away. There's a teleport coming in from Kuro to save the situation, but can he actually find it?
I think he can get the pick off here, but he dodges away, saved away. In comes the Zac to save the day. Moyu locked on up. Here comes the Archangel Staff. Moyu doesn't have cell division. He's dead from Ryze, but Kuro jumps in. This series delivers, Clement, and let me just say, with one only alive, it could not keep going.
Yeah, Kuro's not going to be able to take everything away from here. XX does have the smite for the cannon minion wave, even though it's baroned up. And Cat is coming in, so he's not going to be able to take the tower.
Tell me Kuro can survive. 1 versus 2. Saved. Turret goes down. Game's not over.
That was so close, absolutely on the knife's edge. TOP do have to overextend just to get the kill on Jinjiao, but look how much damage Jinjiao actually managed to do before he goes down. And then the bottom side, ADD once again tagging LokeN with the cannon barrage and a barrel to the face, and finally flashing forward to finish off the Jinx. If the Jinx was allowed to run away, she could have healed up so quickly because of that Bloodthirster and then come back to finish the game. So a very crucial save from ADD to equalize out on the backline advantage.
Started out with a pick onto Jinjiao. The individual solo lanes of BLG still come up massively versus LokeN. And although Knight may not be having the most successful series still with the Morgana, this transitions LokeN forward. BLG still stuck in the mid lane, looking for the next fight. Elder's coming up, Baron's going to come up as well. Look at where Moyu is, who has Realm Warp, but needs to reposition for the purpose of this fight.
This is insanely ballsy from TOP. They're actually sending LokeN up alone, knowing that he's going to have the Braum and the Black Shield behind him, but still super risky way to play the game. Just one barrel landing could get a 60% slow onto him, and he could be chased down.
Kuro's waiting for the renegotiation of players. They see the Ryze. It's going to come over to Moyu getting out now as Metoer slingshot ready to prepare. Abyssal Voyage, they bring him back in. Moyu's been jumped on. Realm Warp to get out, he can't. BLG strike first, strike true, strike for 1, and strike at the Elder Dragon now.
What? It's going to be a teleport directly into the base?
Not again. Knight is here into the mid lane. He's not tanky enough though, Clement. They start the Elder Dragon, and this time I think BLG are right.
Yeah, that should be a straight win, and even if TOP take the inhib, they're going to be in such a bad position.
LokeN's at a quarter of his health. Elder's been taken. Here we go again. That's right. Run! They're coming for you.
Knight is still on the wrong side of the map. He hasn't even started his back right now.
Doesn't matter if it's the Baron, if it's Knight, they're escaping. Metoer over to the Tri-Brush. Knight, this is not good. It may just be the Morgana, but they've found him. Long death time is here, Clement. ADD, mini, barrels on, half health. Knight, say your prayers. It's parlay. 7, 2, and 5 on Gankplank, and Baron's up in 20 seconds with no Morgana on the map.
Yeah, this was not a pretty ill-advised play coming in from TOP. They trade away a lot of position on the map, double objectives, and they only get a mid-lane inhibitor turret for it. Completely not worth it. And I just feel like this is one of those desperation plays that we see from the young squad of TOP.
Showing the adversity of BLG, though. They have Elder. Baron is theirs as well. Moyu dare not stay. And BLG this game, this is the showing that you wanted to see. Give him the blue buff too, because Jinjiao now more than online as well.
Things looking up for BLG. Their late game composition has arrived. If you're looking at the Kog'Maw build, Jinjiao did not go for the Wits In, did not go for the strong mid-game power spike of the on-hit build. Instead, did transition earlier for the crit. So he's going to be able to stand up to Jinx in these long team fights. And also ADD has been on point with these barrels the entire game. It's going to be one big explosion of fireworks, but that's all it's going to take to close the game out.
This is what happens when you see a Gankplank pick up double lethality item with the Mortal Reminder. He's going to remind TOP who they are, but this position of XX, as Metoer dodges away from the Dark Binding, means that TOP have to back away themselves. Elder Dragon's going to disappear in 30 seconds, but that's more than enough time for BLG to force out this bottom lane.
It's really about protecting your AD carries at all costs at this point. In the previous team fights, we saw both sides trading away their back lines.
Metoer, don't do this again. Half health in the turret, jumps in anyway. BLG setting up to break the base again.
Yeah, with TOP's backs to a wall, it's going to be up to BLG to try and get Jinx, the LokeN out of position. Or they could do that.
Yeah, I mean, Cat takes a quarter of his health. Those barrels not hard to come by there for ADD. A lot of talk about the Korean solo laners in this series. Now a lot of talk about Jinjiao in this game 3. He's not the pure focus. ADD's knocking away. The rum is always gone with ADD. That's what's in the barrels, and he's setting up for more success as the chains continue to fly in with the minion wave.
3-2 split by BLG. They're going in.
Straight into the inhibitor turret. Meteor's here, knocks him back against the wall. The left bounce captures no one for BLG. Pulling the trigger way too quickly. Eaten up by Mini. Kuro still in the front line as Catabarrage comes on down. They want to end it here. Moyu takes a truckload from it. The redemption to heal him back up, but BLG still hungry for this inhibitor.
Yeah, and most importantly, LokeN has been left relatively unscathed, so he's going to be able to hold the front line. Meteor expended a lot for that, but look at the Warmogs on him.
Yep.
He's very willing to risk those engages once, over and over again. If he just gets one of them to go his way, they can close out the game.
He's still got a minute of the Baron buff, and the minions coming in and slowly knocking away at both the bottom lane inner turret, inhibitor turret, excuse me, and the inhibitor itself in the mid lane. BLG moving between bottom and mid, clearing out the vision, clearing out the jungle, and slowing down TOP from getting outside of their base itself. Meteor once again, half health, doesn't matter.
We see the final item completion for LokeN. He's absolutely maxed out. A lot of damage going in, and we've seen Meteor come in so many times and just be an inch within his own life. If a lot of these dark bindings were landing, I actually feel like TOP could just roll this team fight the other way.
Yeah.
They can get Jinx excited, and that has no upper limit on how much attack speed you can get.
I'm curious to see, because you've got yourself a 6-item Jinx, and I mean pure 6 items on the Jinx. Triple Zeal, boots are gone. All right, Jinjiao, you're up. Let's go. Let's get another Zeal item. Let's get a Wit's End. I like the way things are going for BLG. I truly do, and I truly hope to see them in the playoffs, but they still need to rely on Sino Dragon, and they need to rely on Suning beating them even if they win this series. We said it's a good start for a team that shows this much prominence, this much prowess into their late games. Truly would be astonishing to see them eliminated.
BLG, they need to take this one. If TOP get it, look at their Drakes. Double Infernal. That's going to be... I doubled. by the advent of the Elder Drake going over.
Meteor has not been spotted. Walks back. Going to be spotted by a control ward here, or maybe not. Outside the skirt of vision. Now as he crosses over. TOP setting up to pick him off.
The true damage would be so deadly in this situation. Kuro going in.
Is LokeN out of position? Well, the chain doesn't connect from Kuro, so no.
That was pretty insane. LokeN actually took a 500 damage Malice to the face, but it didn't even matter. He didn't even lose much HP at all.
LokeN and Jinjiao facing head-to-head. Meteor comes in out of nowhere onto LokeN, the Black Shield. Up the Cat, and Meteor getting bursted down. Cell Division will be available as he flashes away. Knight and LokeN still free-firing with the Catabarrage. Zones off into Cell Division they go as XX under the back line.
They're going on Jinjiao.
What's Kuro doing? He's sitting in the brush by himself, waiting for the flank, but has he waited too long? ADD and Jinjiao, however, still free-firing, but LokeN has all the rockets in the world. Double kill, end the triple, end the quadra. Kuro, don't give him the pentakill. You're the last one alive.
Man, Kuro, you have to go in there. You have to make something happen at this point. You're the only one left there.
Could BLG have just been thwarted by the Jinx? They're heading towards the base, shutting them out of playoffs. Next on the list, Clement.
BLG, Kuro could still pull a miracle out here. He's 1v3, but if he can draw enough attention.
There, zap into the clone, has to back, but it's too late for BLG. It looked like this game was theirs to keep them safe, but TOP with a quick whip of the whip. Now they knock out BLG and enable Sino Dragon into playoffs.
Oh no, you have to feel bad for BLG. They were such a strong team throughout this entire split. They were 4th place for multiple weeks until they faced their super heavy backloaded schedule, and their journey in 2019 spring split is going to end here.
TOP, pick one moment again. And that's all it is. For a team that wanted to help secure second, well, this is going to be the start. They now rely on Invictus Gaming to see if they can make their own berth to the semi-finals of the spring playoffs. But for BLG, the story is over. The run is over. The challenge is over.
Yeah, and it was so close. Honestly, that start of the fight was okay, but a crucial mistake from Mini, devouring a minion instead of the Zac, really set up a good window for TOP to exploit on. You could see Xiongxiong going right in. XX with the GA finds his targets onto the back line in a very stretched out fight where Kuro did not have much impact at all. Could not find his entrance in and stop LokeN. LokeN was on the right side of the fight, while Kuro unfortunately was on the left side of the river. And you can see Cat, always the talkative one on the team of TOP, congratulating his teammates.
It's moments like this where you say that one moment defines a series, and it really did. In all 3 games, it came down to the wire. In that final team fight, it is just heartbreaking to see BLG exit in that fashion.
Yes, it definitely is. They had a lot of control this game. They had the Baron, they had the Elder Dragon, but all it took was just one failed engage, and BLG find themselves in a very difficult situation. Now, this is their first split as an organization, as a group of 5.
Yep.
So we honestly didn't have the highest expectations for them. They really proved us wrong. They really proved that they still had game. Remember that conventional wisdom didn't think that this was going to be a great team. Kuro's already 25 years old. He's already very, very old in terms of esports terms. ADD was relegated from LCK, and they didn't have many pieces from their original 2018 squad. So we didn't think BLG would make it here, but they proved us wrong. They had such a good showing, and I just want to say that if BLG played in any other region, there is no way that this team does not make playoffs.
That's right.
100%. Only in the
LPL.
LPL would a team like this make playoffs.
The depth of talent
playoffs
continues in the LPL. As a side note, I have to point out that LokeN was so crucial to that game, was that game, as well as Moyu. 54k damage.
Oh,
that's when you know your hyper carry's online.
He put the team on his back. Look at that gold graph. They were actually in the deficit the entire way from the middle point of the game. And the way LokeN was playing, he was playing in front of you. He was saying, you know what? I'll play the barrels. I'll play Meteor flying in on me. I don't care. I'll stand right there in front. And he actually did that at the very end. Yeah. Meteor came in. He didn't find him with the knock-up on the elastic slingshot. LokeN was able to kite away with that. Small mistake. Devour doesn't find him. They know that Devour's not there for Jinjiao. Xiongxiong seizes that opportunity, instantly just flashes on to Jinjiao. And even though the first 2 kills go over towards BLG, LokeN was untouched.
You're at that point where you're like, oh my god, it's a Jinx AD carry. It's 40 plus minutes into the game. Doesn't matter if it's a 1v5. You know Jinx can take it, especially with the Renan's Hurricane just going nuts there on rocket form. So good testament to LokeN, but all the same for BLG. Maybe it is a fitting ending for them.
I just feel bad for this team, man. This team took down Invictus Gaming. This team, if they had a couple of their matches switched around in terms of the schedule, if they had WE when W were still trying to get into form, not this scary W that's actually just chewing up everyone in front of them, I think they would have made playoffs. They're so damn close. And this is a team that I want to give so much praise to for this split. This is their final game of the season. I think Coach Sim did a tremendous job. You know, in the LPL, we talk about teams that just play crazy. You look at Invictus Gaming. They have such great players, but you know they're a deeply flawed team. They're very dysfunctional in multiple aspects.
Very fair.
Yeah, and BLG they're well-rounded. They don't have any star players necessarily. I don't think you put any of their positions in the top 3. And they were able to carve a path out for themselves. They played slow. They played good fundamental League of Legends, bought the most wards, got the most control over the map. And I was talking about that 20-minute teamfight initiation victory rate, 90%. They did such a good job at controlling the situations that they wanted to fight in, the teleports that they were going to use to get into the fight. They played a masterful LCK style of play.
They really did.
And a lot of times when you saw them lose, it was just because they were outplayed. And it's mind-boggling to me that a team that basically does everything right at the end of the day, can still fall to outplays, to miracles, to just the monsters in the LPL that don't make any sense.
To people like TOP who just came online. We'll take another look at that last fight as well, because for me, my head was spinning looking at how BLG, I'm like, wow, they're in control. This is their fight, but it started with medium.
Yeah, to look at this, he doesn't get the stretching strikes off, and the Devour actually hits the wrong person. He has to spit a minion out, and this is really smart play by Xiongxiong. He says, hey, you know what? Jinjiao's not protected right here. I have the GA. I'm going to go in right now. So they fly into him, and Kuro can't find anything. Good positioning by Moyu. He keeps everyone outside of the fight. Meteor can't come in, Kuro can't come in, and a 3v3 where you have a Morgana in front of Jinjiao is not a fight you can win.
Jinjiao walks towards LokeN as well. He's like, I have to take down this Jinx. Jinx isn't even targeting him at that point. It's the rocket. The Renan's rocket is just hitting him passively, and you're like, wow, that's a quarter of his health. So it's just all props as to why we're actually seeing this pick Jinx, and we're seeing Kog'Maw come back into the meta as well. We're back to that hyper carry point. Right now, that's looking great for LokeN.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, BLG has been the perfect backdrop to hero plays in the LPL so far. It's a bad place to be, but BLG, you do bring out the best of everyone. If you think about the plays they had against RNG, I think Karsa had the best game of his career fighting against BLG. That was so close, went down to the wire. BLG was in the lead almost the entire way, and it truly took some inhuman play for RNG to beat them. The same thing with WE, to be honest. There was the series where BLG were looking pretty good, and then Mystics only came online. It was just like, you know what? I'm taking over the league right here.
Are you ready? You want to play standard League of Legends? Not here.
Yeah, and they took over that as well. This game, a little less so, but hero plays on Knight, a great play on XX.
Hero play on LokeN, but just because he kept free hitting, that's why he's MVP. Did 53k damage. What percentage is it though? 43%. I was like, wow. No, of course, 43% damage. That's to be expected.
And LokeN finally walks out of his slump. He had a very bad week 9. We were very worried about his situation in the league. iBoy had a field day against him. Mystic had a field day against TOP. But he finally does come back. Great laning phase against Jinjiao. And he shows that he can be that late game carry you trust in as well. LokeN actually didn't really have that repertoire in him. He actually was an AD carry where people called him kind of a KDA player. He always had front lines like he was playing with Yagao and Zoom, so people rarely paid attention to him.
That was like the days of Jin as well, and Jin could just walk away, and like, well, where's LokeN? He's pressed ult, he's out of the fight.
And he's finally showing that he can be the pillar of a 5v5 teamfight composition in this split. I'm really glad that he's growing up into that role, and that's the position you have to be in if you're looking at playoffs. There is no good LPL team that has made it far in playoffs that does not have a very special AD carry. You need to be able to team fight with your AD carries, especially late game, for a team to succeed in the LPL.
We're walking towards that meta as well. 9.5, 9.6. It looks like the Kog'Maw, the Jinx, as I mentioned before. We're getting towards those late game carries where situationally we might see an Ezreal or Kalista or whatever, but the LPL feels like the transition is already there.
Yes.
Someone like LokeN, it's good that he's making his, I guess, debut of his step up. So now that BLG are out of the race, you know where TOP sit, you know where they could potentially sit. Either way, TOP are going the distance of semi-finals, quarterfinals. That looks to be their start at the moment. There is something about this team that still makes you fear how they play.
Definitely. I feel like TOP is a team that can go very, very far, but I still need to see more finesse in terms of their mid and end game. They're great laners, but a lot of times they don't actually bring that the entire way. They have to rely on these heroic plays, and honestly, if you played that series with BLG over in 10 times, I feel like BLG would have walked away with it 8 out of 10.
Especially in the very first game there. That was a big one for BLG and TFP. We have to have a break before we go to our match of the week. Still here in Shanghai, IG, EDG to finish off the night. You thought that was hype. Woo! Let's go.